All right.
We're on. We're
You
live.
just gave me a snap and a thumbs up.
I know.
Like, I could see when the numbers start rolling.
Let's go,
I don't
Amy.
need
You're on.
any
You're on the air.
more cues. Thank you. Now she's doing finger guns at me, everyone. Welcome to On the Haunt, everyone. Oh, you did a woo.
I can't not do a woo.
No.
I'm Whitney.
I'm Amy.
And we're on the haunt.
Where we don't stifle our woos.
We don't. We woo when we feel we need a woo.
Yeah, sometimes you just gotta woo.
And you feel woo about it.
You do. You woo, you boo-boo. Catchphrase. Put it on a shirt.
It's going on a shirt. Oh my God, we're so
that we'll buy for ourselves.
Because our shirt campaigns are just us and our own shirts. Actually, I saw you ordered one.
Yeah, I did.
Thanks
I ordered the sweatshirt.
Thank you for contributing to our own campaign.
It's getting colder out. Sometimes just the long sleeve tee isn't going to cut it. I probably should have ordered something I could have worn when the weather gets warm again.
I ordered a shirt and I have it at my house, and I tried to find it today and I don't actually know where it went. So it's around.
No one's on here to hear about our dementia.
No.
Hey, everybody. Welcome.
We got some stories
for tuning in. We don't have any haunted housekeeping because if you listen to episode 20, you know we're recording 20 and 21 both in the same day, back to back. So we know we screwed some stuff up in the last episode.
We're sorry.
We just haven't had a chance to listen to it yet to know what we did.
Yes. So anyway, it's my turn to go first.
It is.
And here we go.
Okay. Oh, wow. We're jumping right in.
Well, I don't have anything else to say to you. No. Do you want to talk about your feelings?
No, I don't.
Okay. Amy, let's talk about our friendship for a while.
Oh, God.
You're beautiful.
This is so romantic.
We have a candle. We bought Chris some new candles because we burn, all the
his candles.
So today we're smelling a candied caramel pecan candle.
We are.
It's limited edition.
Yeah.
Okay. Why am I telling people that?
It's from Walmart, so I don't know why you're putting a fancy accent on it.
Better Homes and Guardian. I don't know. I'm embarrassed. We also brought Chris a couple secret surprises.
Yeah, a couple new notebooks because we always use up his paper writing down our episode titles and a quick little description of what it is. So when he produces us and puts it out there, we pay him in Taylor Swift notebooks and Walmart candles
and kitten notebooks
and a kitten notebook. So
you're welcome, Chris.
You're welcome.
Like it.
We'll have to take a picture of those and put them up, but we'll have to remember to not do it for 2 weeks.
Yeah, this is great. So we're gonna forget. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. Let's just do this.
Let's just jump in because this is just rambling.
It is. It's embarrassing.
Annoying.
No one wants to hear this. My topic today is spontaneous human combustion.
Ooh.
And it's something I've always just found fascinating, and we're going to get into it in a little bit of what is it? And the answer is I don't know.
Yeah. So is it going to happen to me someday?
Well,
I have this theory that I'm going to die in a really weird, bizarre way. So I hope on my list.
I hope it's not this because it's really uncomfortable.
Oh, I'm sure.
It's actually very just pleasant. No, it's not. I mean, I don't know. I've never.
Actually, it's probably going to be like, they're going to find me. It's like, it wasn't spontaneous. I was lighting a candle at my house a couple weeks ago, and I'm pushing the aim and flame, and I feel something. I guess one of my kids use my aim and flame all the time because we burn boxes and stuff in my house.
What is an aim and flame?
The long lighter thing, like you light a candle with. You aim and flame.
I've never called it that.
I don't know. Okay, other people.
I don't know.
Anyways, I felt something, and it had cracked in the lighter fluid, or what was leaking.
Oh my God!
I'm sitting there clicking the button trying to light it. So, yeah, I almost died.
Use a match. Everyone. Just use a match. There's no lighter fluid.
Where do you even buy matches? I don't know.
I just do grocery pickup, and I'm like, matches.
Oh.
And then I don't know. That's the thing. Like, matches are one of those things that I don't know where to find those in the grocery store.
Yeah.
Like, where are they? I don't know.
Good question.
Kitchen?
But that's
stuff?
helpful if you're like trying to burn trash. Because sometimes the wind is blowing. I could just see my boys out there going through an entire box of matches trying to.
I get a real pleasure out of striking a match. Like, it's really
I like
enjoyable.
The smell of it.
Me too. We
delicious.
have them in our house because we always strike a match after we drop the kids off at the pool. You know what I mean. Dropping a deuce.
Okay, I was going to say, I thought you were going to say dropping a deuce. What are you dropping the kids at? Do people say that?
Maybe.
I've never heard pooping as dropping the kids off at the pool.
Really? It's like one of those things that you say after reading a joke book that you got from the Scholastic Book Fair in 4th grade. Oh my God, I can't believe I just said that in sort of public.
And do you like matches or that? Do you not have air freshener?
It's not the same. It just completely eliminates the smell of your deuce.
So does poopery.
But it doesn't...
Poopery is more expensive than matches.
I've never owned poopery, but it's not like... You know when you spray, your air freshener and it just smells like poopy Hawaiian breeze?
I buy like the good stuff, though.
I buy like Glade. What do you buy?
I buy like the stuff from Yankee Candle that's like this tiny little can and it's like $10. So it's...
Just get you a candle. Light it up. Let it burn for a minute and throw her in the toilet. That's what I do.
You just said candle. I'm not throwing any candles in my septic. Definitely can't handle that.
Just throw a full candle. You're gonna go through a lot of candles. Prepare yourself. Might break.
Maybe a tea light.
It might break. You're just letting unscented tea light. God, no, don't.
Not serving a purpose if you light unscented tea lights.
Don't throw a candle in your toilet. Just throw your match in there.
Don't.
We learned that from Jason and Nina. What's up, Jason and Nina? I don't think they listen either. It's fine.
No one listens that we know.
Oh, God. If you're listening, thank you. Because we appreciate it. Because we're just doing this for ourselves. I guess we just record a podcast and listen to it by ourselves in our own individual cars on our way to work. Anyway, back to spontaneous human combustion.
Please do.
Not about, I'm sorry, A News Corner. Was it Chrissy Teigen? No, Gabrielle Union posted on Facebook or Twitter, probably Twitter because celebrities don't do Facebook. Maybe they do. But anyway,
Jennifer Garner does sometimes her little videos, but they're probably via something else.
She got an Uber back home on New Year's Eve, and the driver came in and pooped in her bathroom. And it's so funny to imagine. You're just like, when you gotta go, you gotta go.
And to let him in.
I mean, they let
your Uber
and
driver
she's
in,
married to Dwayne Wade.
Yeah.
Like, they have a lot of money,
nice
I'm
stuff.
sure.
Yeah.
But that was
so
really
many
kind.
Hermes bags to be stolen,
I know, and
probably.
she just went in and they pooped.
I mean,
and then
you know
left.
what, though? You know the look of panic on someone's face.
You do.
When they just have to. I've seen it sitting across the table from you before.
I'm going to
Amy, so know, they're not after my handbags. They just need
don't
to
want to poop their pants.
They just got to drop their kids at the pool. Never heard that. No.
I mean, it's like the worst.
Finally, Whitney said something I don't know. Usually the roles are reversed.
Terrible joke, and I am sorry to everyone that had to hear that. Moving on.
Okay.
What is spontaneous human combustion? It's the concept of a living or recently deceased human body combusting without an apparent external source of ignition, like lighter fluid on Amy's hand.
Yeah.
So these are people who just caught on fire, no one knows why. There are lots of hypotheses, so I'm just going to say a few, and then I'm going to get into tons of cases of
Is vaping one of them?
Jane.
Because I would love to put that in my arsenal of why you shouldn't vape.
Yeah,
Number one, you look ridiculous. I'm sorry if people are listening to vape, but
you're offending so many people.
Like, it's just, I think it's because people don't treat it like they do cigarettes. So it's just like people don't roll down their car windows and stuff, and you just drive by someone who's vaping in their car with all their windows up, and it's just like, there's just all this fog everywhere.
It's like hotboxing.
Yeah, it's like Cheech and Chong.
We're sorry if you vape. Like, do you?
That's right. But, I mean, I do believe it's safer than cigarettes. So,
but Amy's husband vapes. So, was that your phone? Was that Keaton? Like in a panic? Sorry, Amy's.
No, it was just Life 360 because I stalk my children.
Okay, great. Carter left home. Carter, where are you?
Well, he's with Brecken because they both left home.
Where'd they go? Okay,
knows?
great. Amy's daughter is watching my children.
Yeah. If it said Keaton arrived home, I'd be like, Kyle,
we got a problem.
Did you have to take her home because you judged her?
Oh, Kyle, don't judge people.
No.
Okay, so a few hypotheses. Victims' behaviors and habits. I don't know anything more about that. But there's a hypothesis that it's possible that different habits and behaviors could cause this. I don't know.
Vaping.
Like vaping. So I'm writing that down.
I mean,
VAPING.
like vape. What's that called? Vape apparatus has spontaneously combusted before, like in people's pockets.
What do they call that? Vape gun. Vape mouthpiece.
Vape. I don't know what that's called.
Do you know Georgia vapes?
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
She talks about it in one of the episodes, and I was like, oh. I mean, it's just, I don't know. It's surprising.
No, that's all right.
That's what goes in it.
I know nothing. Well, Jamie buys like bottles of stuff.
Yeah, that's the cartridge, I would imagine, right?
No, he just squeezes them. They're like little squirt bottles.
Go home and be like...
He doesn't know. He needs to educate himself about what he's putting in his body, though, because... Just saying. Because he's much more careless with that as he was with cigarettes. Like, he was really good about it. He never smoked in the car with us when he smoked and never smoked in the house.
Does he vape with you and the kids in the car?
Oh, yeah, he's like blowing freaking...
whatever that is.
Cherry scented. And I don't know to, like, not breathe it in like I do with cigarette smoke because it just smells like gummy bears.
You're live.
Yeah, but it's like you don't... Like, if you see it, you don't necessarily hold your breath like you would with cigarette smoke.
Can you even see... It smells pleasant.
It smells good.
Yes.
So you don't think, oh, I better...
And like what is in it? Like, does it have nicotine in it?
Yes.
But only in what he is getting.
But it doesn't have... What's the bad thing in cigarettes?
All of it?
No, but what's like the stuff? Yeah, tobacco. It doesn't have tobacco.
So how does it have nicotine? Okay.
Nobody
cares.
No, God, stop. Why are we... Sorry, guys. Sorry.
Okay, moving on.
There's a little button on there you could just push and it skips you 30 seconds ahead. If you needed to do that here, we get it.
We understand. Alcohol consumption also is another hypothesis, which that is flammable.
Way flammable.
But I've known a lot of alcoholics who have not combusted, so... I don't know what this means, but I wrote behavior of fires that consume melted fats. I don't know what that sentence means.
It's science.
It's like sciencey, so moving
Think of a grease fire, right?
My body would just like whoosh, and then I'm just gone.
So many mozzarella.
I'm just suddenly gone. There's nothing left of me. They're like, holy shit, where did Whitney go? And then you just smell burnt cheese, and you're like, why do I smell burnt cheese? Is she okay? I've gone to a better place. Don't worry about me. No. Just live on your life, Amy.
The next round, you can eat all the mozzarella sticks you want and spontaneously
find a new podcast partner. It's okay. I won't be jealous. God. God. Oh my God. I'm going to really need mozzarella sticks when we leave here, though. Sonic, here we come again.
Yeah, we've only been there once today.
I'm sorry, the image of me going whoosh is just really funny.
I mean, just sitting across the table like, I've never clicked the mouse on the computer to stop this. Do I keep going? Do I just jump into my story?
You need to document my death, okay?
So Chris and Mandy, they might want to hire Stanley Steamer to come in.
They make carpets cleaner. Oh my God, moving on. Okay. Wow. So let's get into some cases. The first one, Whitney Raditz. Just kidding. Not me.
No.
Mary Reeser.
Don't.
Okay, Mary.
Are any of these the ones where there's like the charred like imprint in front of a fireplace somewhere of a lady? I've seen that before. It's just like she's just like burned into the carpet. She was a spontaneous combustion victim.
Sort of.
Okay.
Sort
Maybe
of.
she wasn't in front of a fireplace. I don't know.
I got a lot here. I mean, I've got so many stories of this. It's like freaking out of control, man.
Oh,
here we go.
One more thing to add to your list of beers, everybody.
The one day you could just explode. It seems to like it's a quick death, so it's cool.
That's why we never hold in our farts. Just saying.
That's right.
It's dangerous. They say holding in a sneeze can kill you, while I believe holding in a fart can be just as dangerous.
What if you're smoking at the same time? Is my phone vibrating? No. Okay, so Mary Reeser, she lived in St. Petersburg, Florida, and on July 2nd, 1951, her landlord, Pansy, that's a terrible name. Suddenly, everything's funny. Freaking pansy carpenter.
This is what happens when we do two.
I know, but it's fine. It's great.
Fine. I swear we're just drinking Diet Cokes too. I didn't.
Yeah, we've got Rude Route Fit 44.
They're huge Diet Cokes.
They really are. I have so much caffeine, my legs are jiggling.
Maybe that's what's wrong with us.
But they're always jiggling. That's right. Spontaneously combust. I put on a few pounds, okay? Quit judging me. July 2nd, 1951, around 8 a.m., Pansy, Mary's landlord, stops by with a telegram. Everything is so funny about this. Why does Pansy have the telegram? I don't understand how telegrams work.
I thought they were like a person who works for the telegram company that delivers your...
I'm delivering with telegrams. That's not a telegram.
No, a telegram is just
code.
a regular message, but it gets delivered.
I know, I'm so confused by how telegrams work, though. Like, is there a telegram station where they're all printed?
I think
and then
so, like the Western Union. That's money. But didn't they do
maybe
telegrams?
It was telegrams.
Maybe? I don't know. Move on. Sorry, we're so stupid.
So Pansy noticed that the doorknob was hot. And so she called the police.
Oh, God. Like on the episode of The Office when Dwight gets the handle all hot. I freaking love The Office.
Dwight so much. So inside, Mary's remains were found almost completely cremated among the chair that she had been sitting on. So her chair was also cremated, I guess, or maybe not. I'm not really sure. Only her backbone, skull, and part of her left foot, which was still wearing a slipper, remained.
Oh, God.
So imagine... So, again, we'll get into it. Well, actually, I'm just going to get into it now. Well, one time, like the better.
As a family, though, what do you do then? Like,
with that foot?
I mean,
so
she's kind of already been cremated, so should we really pay the bill to do that again?
Right.
Or how does that
Googled
work?
how hot is normal cremation. Normal cremation is around 1,400 to 1,800 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah, it's way hot.
Way
You've
hot.
Read Caitlin Doherty's books,
So good.
It's got to be so very
Super
hot. Cremate. But even then, it doesn't destroy
completely. No,
everything.
A typical fire is around 1,100 degrees Fahrenheit. So just her typical normal fire is around that much. Mary's body temperature was around 3,500 degrees Fahrenheit.
Oh my God, that's way hot.
Isn't that insane?
And it was still that hot when they got there.
Yes.
So how hot was it like when it was burning?
So plastic household objects that were nearby had lost their shapes and softened, but most of everything else in the room was intact. So like imagine there is a fire that's 3,500 degrees Fahrenheit burning, and it doesn't catch your house on fire?
Right.
It's bizarre.
Just
right?
You just think of like a woof.
Literally like me. My mozzarella sticks.
Exactly.
Does anyone smell mozzarella? That's what the police are saying here. So, and then the fact that her backbone's still there and her skull, which was reportedly shrunken down to the size of a teacup.
Oh. Well, I mean, if the heat is enough. I'm just thinking of Beetlejuice when he's sitting there with the little shrunken head guy. Oh, God. Almost spilled my Route 44 Diet Coke.
But, like, why would it shrink that, but not shrink her backbone or shrink, like, any of her other bones?
I mean... Was the source of the heat coming from her head?
Sorry, I just farted a little, so if you I'm not trying
I'd rather you do that than spontaneously combust.
I'm not trying to combust here, okay?
Oh, she did fart near a candle, so
but we're
that
fine.
Could be dangerous.
We're fine. I just smell caramel pecan still. But it's just so insane. Like literally 3,500 degrees, but her left foot wearing a slipper was still there. The slipper was still there, but like her right foot had been burnt.
Completely.
It's bizarre.
Incinerated.
Yeah.
And was incarcerated. That's not the right word.
Incarcerated in its slipper.
Or taking your slipper to jail.
So Mary was a smoker, and she was known to have taken sleeping pills. So did she fall asleep while smoking? Maybe. But
that's not going to just burn your body.
And you'd wake up. Right?
Yeah.
Like, wouldn't you wake up?
Was there an oxygen tank next to her?
I mean, I feel like even if you took a sleeping pill, you'd still, if you were on fire, you would wake up.
Yeah.
Maybe not. I don't take sleeping pills. I don't know.
I don't either.
So that happened July 2nd. So on July 7th, the police chief sent a box of evidence to FBI Director J. Edgar Hoover. Like, all the way to the top.
Wow.
I know. I like it. Care of J. Edgar Hoover. Including glass fragments found in the ashes, which is weird. They don't know why. 6 small objects thought to be teeth, and a section of carpet and the surviving shoe. They sent all that to J. Edgar Hoover.
Okay.
The room showed little evidence of fire damage despite the extreme temperatures needed to burn a body, which is, bizarre.
Right.
In the package to the FBI, the chief asked, quote, for any info or theories to help explain how a human body could be so destroyed and the fire contained to such a small area so little damage can be done to the structure, and how so little damage could be done to the structure of the building and the furniture in the room, not even scorched or damaged by smoke. Like, there was not even smoke damage. That's weird. 3,500 degrees.
Yeah. And how does anything even get to 3,500 degrees?
Without
I think of, like, the flames coming out of a rocket as it's launching into space.
How hot's that?
Because if a fire is only 1,100, like,
and I mean, a typical fire,
heat.
1,100 degrees, but I feel like there's probably some, like, wiggle room on that because it depends on what you're burning, probably, as to how hot it is, I would imagine, right?
Things intensify.
Yeah, because I'm imagining if it's just, like, a wood fire, 1,100 degrees, but if it's, like, rocket fuel fire.
Right. That's going to be
hotter.
warmer.
It's just, I don't know. So the FBI responded and said that it was the Wick Effect. And that's what caused her to die. This is literally how we're going to die. Prepare yourself. So.
What is the Wick Effect? Are you about to tell me?
I am.
Okay. I didn't know if you were saying that like it was common knowledge.
No. So what is the Wick Effect, you ask, Amy?
I do
Johnston? It's when a person burns and their clothing soaks up their melted human fat and acts like the wick of a candle.
Oh my God. All of our stories are now morphing together.
So, I mean, I feel really sad about that. Yeah. Because
we've already started the process.
I have.
Our bodies are already melting. We've had children and did not bounce back from it.
No. My body already looks like it's melting. Now it's... But, I mean, that's so sad.
It is.
So, like, your clothing soaks up all the fat that's melting. But I wonder, like, was Mary morbidly obese? I don't know.
Because you do think about, like, because fat, our bodies are made up of fat, and some of us more than others. But you think of, like, when you're grilling a hamburger, for example, over an open flame, and when that fat drips and hits that fire, what it does, you know? So,
like, it's like you'd have to catch on fire first, enough for your fat to begin melting, and then that would intensify the flame. But, like, what person is just going to sit there while they're on fire? I mean, enough for her to die just sitting down in a chair.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense.
And I feel like even in one of Caitlin's books, she talked about how when it's, like, morbidly obese people, how there essentially are grease fires in the cremation vault or whatever that is, you know? So
it's just, there's so many questions. Like, that, does that make sense? Yeah, that makes sense. But why would you die still sitting in your chair? Like, I feel like if you're on fire,
and I don't think it would just consume your entire body and then nothing else.
No, I feel like your whole house would burn down.
I feel like I kind of have enough knowledge of how fire works. Not 4th of July fireworks, but...
Have you ever taken sleeping pills? It's very personal, but, like, I never have.
No, I don't think so.
Because I don't understand.
I've taken, like, Xanax before, which makes me sleep better, but it's not an actual
like a
sleeping pill. I've never taken anything that I felt like I fell into such a deep sleep I wouldn't wake up.
Yes. I just can't imagine that you're on fire.
I mean, I've taken NyQuil before, and I would wake up if I were on fire. I would hope.
Let's test it. I'm coming over. No. Okay, so that was poor Mary. God bless you, Mary. Moving on to Henry. Henry was a 73-year-old man who lived in South Wales. In 1980, he was found burnt to death in his recliner. So basically, don't sleep in a recliner. Yeah. At home. And all that was left of him were his legs from below the knee and his skull again. His feet were completely unburned, and the legs and feet were still clothed in socks and trousers that were practically untouched. There was a fire in the fireplace, but it had not spread. So theories of what happened to him are 1, obviously, spontaneous human combustion, or 2, he had caught his own hair on fire while stoking the fire, sat down and didn't realize that he had. But what person with what person with their hair on fire would just sit there and let themselves burn?
Like, I smell something.
Well, f*** it. I mean,
if my hair's ruined, just go ahead. Which is another episode of The Office when they're having their Moroccan themed Christmas party and Meredith gets all drunk at her hair. Actually, that just happened on a Real Housewives. Not too long ago. Shannon Bedore had her hair extensions in. She was leaning over the table talking, and there were like little tea lights on the table, and her hair kind of fired. I'm pretty sure. Luckily, they got it put out before Vicky Gumbelson threw a glass of vodka on her to put it out. I'm like, no, Vicky.
No, that's bad, Vicky.
That's not how that works.
Oh, Vicky.
Okay, sorry. So it does happen. I mean, people
for
catch
sure.
their hair on
but you're not
fire.
just going to sit there in your recliner and burn to death.
Like, because there's a very distinct smell to that.
Burning hair.
Because I'll never forget the time my mom owned a restaurant and the pilot light went out in the oven.
Ooh, that's so
But
scary.
I guess the gas had already been, or I turned it on and then was like, oh, this isn't working, and went to get matches, but had left the gas on or something. So then I lit it and it was just like, woo, and it like singed my eyelashes and my eyebrows.
How old
and
were you?
Probably like 13-ish or so.
Too young to be messing with a pilot light.
Yeah, for sure, but I was really hungry.
I need some chicken strips.
Yeah.
I mean, it's, really scary. So, I mean, that doesn't add up to me. So, I go with spontaneous human combustion.
Yes, for sure.
So, Margaret Hogan was a 89. All these people are very old, too, which is interesting. I mean, maybe not very old. That's kind of harsh for a 73-year-old and I forgot how old Mary was. I don't know. It doesn't say. Moving on. So, Margaret Hogan was an 89-year-old widow who was living in Dublin, Ireland. What's
Top of the morning.
Once Karen Kilgariff always says, Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. Which is, I imagine, all Irish people's. Anyway. She was found burned to complete destruction. That's a really weird way of saying that. Is that Keaton? Oh, God. I'm just so concerned for her.
My kids, now the boys are back home. They didn't go on a very big trip.
They went to the gas station.
They probably got a hunk of pizza. That's
yum.
what they do. That's what they spend all their money on.
Hunk of pizza. Hunt's Brothers, you really know what's up with your pizza.
You do. Good job.
Good job.
Anyone who ever makes them around the world.
Right. Thank you for all you do for gas station pizza. I'll eat it every day of my life. Anyway.
And Casey's too.
Oh, Casey's, yes.
No sponsors. We're always begging.
Or Sonic.
Yeah, anyone at this point, please.
Anyone with HelloFresh meal kit delivery service.
It's kind of getting a little embarrassing at this point. We're just doing this to be doing it. We're making zero money.
I feel like most podcasters do, though, for at least two. Chris is like our biggest fan. Maybe I shouldn't say that, but he just really believes in us. Thinks we're going to have a lot of followers. He's like, by this year, next year, ladies, going to be having so many followers.
We're going places. Come along with us for the
Come
ride.
along. It's real weird. Okay. So Margaret was found burned to complete destruction on March 28th, 1970. Again, that's a really weird way of saying that, complete destruction. But some plastic flowers near her were liquefied. What's a plastic flower? Is that that's not a silk flower, like a plastic flower?
No, but I've seen plastic flowers before. They exist. Especially in 1970.
Heck yeah.
Everything in 1970, home decor-wise, was plastic. The furniture, name it. Everything was plastic.
Carpet, probably. So plastic flowers were liquefied, and a TV that was 12 feet away from her had a melted screen. But other than that, everything was untouched. Her feet and both legs below the knee were undamaged. And that's all I know about her.
So weird.
Isn't it the below the leg, the knee thing?
Yeah.
I don't understand it.
Because you think even, like, if you get human skin close enough to intense heat, that would cause your skin to blister.
Oh, yeah.
Even if it's not directly in the flame.
Absolutely.
So if the TV and the flowers are melted,
why not over here?
Yeah.
Below.
That's really weird.
And it makes you think, like the whole idea.
Is it just hitting a certain level and then going, woof, like,
maybe.
out?
Maybe. And then, like, the idea of the melted fat getting on your clothes thing, like, everything, that would drip.
Yeah.
And it would drip then into your...
Down to your feet.
And even if it doesn't drip down your legs, it would drip into your chair, which would then still ignite. I don't know. Yeah. It's weird. That's all I know about her. So Michael Farady, he was a 76-year-old from Ireland again. He died December of 2010, and his death actually was listed on his... certificate as spontaneous combustion, and doctors and coroners couldn't come up with any other explanation.
That is so insane.
Yeah. I don't know a lot about him, but that one was really recent. All right, Robert Francis Bailey is the next case. At around 5 a.m. on September 13th, 1967, a group of people were waiting for the bus when they noticed a building was burning. I don't know where this is at. It doesn't matter. First responders found the still burning body of Robert, who was homeless, a homeless man. Blue flames were emitting forcefully from a 4-inch slit in his abdomen. Right? His teeth were clenched down on a post of a staircase he had collapsed next to. I don't know why. Was he like in pain and he was like,
Maybe.
It doesn't add up. So they put out the only way they could put out the fire, okay, so they tried spraying it, it would not go out, was by forcing a hose into his abdominal cavity.
Oh my God.
With spraying water. So whatever was happening. So
clearly his body was the source of the fire.
It was coming out of there. He was a non-smoker. I don't know how they know that necessarily, but he was. But he was a known alcoholic. And he drank denatured alcohol, which is often used to ignite fires. And he drank that because it was just really cheap. So he got drunk off denatured alcohol, which is like...
That's like people who drink rubbing alcohol. Probably you're just desperate and got to have it. And
yeah. So one theory is that all of that in his gut ignited. But by what?
Yeah. What's causing that to happen?
So my last case here, and then I'm all done, is Janine Saffin. And she was a 61-year-old. She was 61 years old when she died. She had the mental capacity of a 6-year-old. And she lived with her father, who was an 82-year-old. So they're in the kitchen. And I don't know what Dad's doing, but he's like making a grilled cheese or something. And out of the corner of his eye, he sees a bright light. So he turns to look at it and sees that Janine is on fire. So he yanked her to the sink to put her out, but he burned himself in the process, as you would. Oh my God. She suffered full thickness burns down to which is like a burn down to the fat, which is like...
So all the epidermis layers.
Goodbye. Her hands and her face were disfigured. She went into a coma, and then she died 8 days later, not years. An alleged theory is that a bit, is that what I wrote? A bit from her father's pipe had fallen onto her clothing and had ignited by wind. I wrote, okay.
In their house?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's very drafty.
No. So... But for her to burn that hot, and it's just insane.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So she just ignited right in front of her father.
Yeah, and even then, you think of like an ember coming off a fire. Like that doesn't just send you up
not
in
at
flames.
All.
You
to
might
burn to your epidermis.
First of all, it's going to take a moment to ignite your clothing, and then you're like, slapping your clothing to put it out.
It does not add up.
That does not add up.
So that is my story.
Was a good one.
Thank you.
I enjoyed that.
Thank you very much.
Like I said, something else to add to my list of irrational fears of how I'm going to die.
There you go.
All right. My topic for today, episode 21, is vampires.
Why did I do
this
that?
Goes all over the place, too. Because when I started out, I was like, I'm just sticking with Wikipedia and I'm doing this. And then I was like, no, everyone, we don't need just a history lesson. We need some stories. And then I found
people seeing
good
vampires?
Story, like firsthand account. So I'm all over the place.
Let's do it.
So here we go. I'm not even explaining myself. Here we go. Except this time, it was a little weird and like... I started writing my sources at the sections I was saying them because I always write them all and I don't remember what I use, and then so that didn't work well. So whatever. Hopefully I'd say them all.
It's fine.
Wikipedia, obviously, and mysteriousuniverse.com. And then there was one SmithsonianMag.com.
Ooh.
And so those are my sources today.
Cool.
All about vampires. So here we go.
All right.
Buckle in, everybody.
I'm buckled.
The idea of vampirism has been around for centuries.
Whoa, Vampirina.
You got it. That's where it came from.
It's a great show.
The Mesopotamians, ancient Greeks, Romans, and many more had stories of what we today call vampires.
Interesting.
While their descriptions vary from place to place, they all have common traits that are very similar to the legends of vampires all throughout Europe.
And European
I'm changing
places.
words of things I've done, and then I'm like, okay, how do I change European to just a thing? Europe. Even when I hear European legend, like, why am I? Obviously, it says European legend.
You are just making
my notes
sure.
make no sense, everyone. Okay.
We handwrite our notes, okay? We know it's weird.
Oh, I think I was trying to say, so these are the things that European legends have, and all these others have that in common with it, too. So, European legends describe vampires as being bloated, purplish, or dark in color.
Not beautiful.
Because of their recent blood consumption.
Ew.
Blood dripping from their mouths.
Oh.
And dressed in their burial shrouds. And there's really no mention of fangs. Like whatever you're buried in.
Oh, okay.
So they're still wearing that.
No mention of fangs. And how do you get in there?
Yeah, exactly. But that's just when we're dating way back. Like way before
bloated.
Anne Rice and any
Laurel
of that
K.
stuff
Hamilton.
Yeah. Which if you think about it, if you were to, blood is very high in sodium, right?
Is it?
I don't know. I'm just thinking if you do drink a lot of blood, you're going to bloat.
I don't know.
I mean, let's just think of menstrual cycles and bloat. Like, there's a reason you bloat them. Like,
yeah, I don't know.
Shut up. I'm not a medical professional. Just shut up.
We're talking about menstrual cycles. Do vampires get a menstrual cycle?
This is why vampires are so sexy, everybody.
Because they're on their period.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, moving forward here.
Yes, please.
There are Slavic and Chinese traditions where they believe that if a corpse of your... I guess you're just like, I don't know, at a viewing of a corpse or whatever, if an animal jumps over the corpse... like a cat or a dog.
Why would that happen?
I don't know. I was like, what kind of funeral home is this at?
Maybe it's a long time ago in their world.
That was a sign that it was the undead. Like an animal jumps. I don't know. I still don't understand why animals are there, but I'm thinking, well, back in the whale days, they didn't have like doors or windows on their houses. Maybe just animals
were just jumping all over the place.
Just jumping over
I feel
dead
like it would
bodies.
more likely be a cat than a dog.
Yeah. They also believed that if someone had died with any type of a wound on their body and that wound had not been treated with boiling water, then they could become a vampire.
Before death? There's like
or even after death.
No,
before death. You pour boiling water on me, we're done. But I think that was part of the like body
cleansing,
preparing protocol.
I would be so mad then if my loved ones didn't make sure that happened.
Yeah. And if you think about it, though, I even made a note here. Like, boiling water was a job back in the days. You know? You had to, like... That's why people just shared bath water, which is so gross.
Oh, God.
I would just rather take an ice-cold bath than share someone's bath water.
Imagine that bath water.
But yeah, that's
it's probably ice cold by the time you get to it anyway.
Yeah. So I bet a lot of people skipped on that stage.
On bath?
Boiling the water to treat the wounds. Like, whatever.
Yeah, you're fine.
So some things that people started doing, though, because they believed that the undead... They didn't really call them vampires then. There wasn't a name for it.
They just called them the undead.
They just called them the undead. People started burying corpses upside down. So it's like, okay, I wake up, but I'm just digging deeper.
I can't.
When I try to go. And
because you can't turn yourself around in a coffin?
I don't know.
I don't either.
And they would leave objects like, is it scythes? What's the...
Yeah,
okay, scythes and sickles on the grave to make the demons not want to rise from the coffins. They were in there. I guess farming was really hard.
They just like
I'd
give
rather
them a
just
weapon.
stay dead than come out here with my sickle and start chopping wheat.
Give me a scythe and now I have a weapon.
They would also sever the tendons in the knees of a corpse.
Oh, God. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah, so they like, well, you're nana nana boo boo. Here
Take
I am.
out all your
you
teeth.
can't get me.
Yes.
But then they would also leave like little like grains of sand or really small like cornmeal kind of stuff because apparently they believed that the undead had arithmomania, which is an OCD disorder where you are compelled to count things. So they would leave like sand, and then they felt like if a vampire came out, they would spend the whole night just counting those grains
of sand.
And then they'd have to retreat back in because they didn't like sunlight. I don't know, but these are like some of the rituals that people performed.
Who made that up, you know?
I don't know. I guess you're grasping at straws at this point.
They're just laughing at how dumb everyone is to believe that.
So here are some of the ways that they would identify if
Sparkling.
someone wasn't undead.
They're
sparkling in the sunlight. They live in Forks, Washington, and
they go to high school.
They know Brad Pitt when he ties his hair in a ribbon. These are ways. And then some other ways to identify. I don't know. I just think of his hair. It's
I know, with a ribbon. You're not wrong.
This was so weird.
I can't
who would even... I don't know. I feel like you're humiliating people by calling them out for this. They would lead a virgin boy through a cemetery on a virgin stallion.
What?
I don't even know.
How do you know if the stallion's a Excuse me, stallion, are you a virgin?
Yeah. I guess if they've never... I guess the horse's owners would be like, we haven't mated.
What if he just got wild?
There's so much pent-up sexual tension happening.
And the virgin boy's like, Mom, I don't want to.
No, why are you telling everyone this about me?
That's embarrassing.
So apparently, though, when that would happen, the horse would balk at the vampire's grave, just like something happened. It's like, then just take the horse.
Right?
Why are you gonna drag the poor virgin boy out? Jeez. And it's like a 25-year-old. He's like, God,
I hate my life.
This is so embarrassing. Please let there be a vampire. There's come kill me now. Then I'll be sexy because vampires are sexy.
That's so funny. Lead a virgin boy.
Yeah. If corpses appeared healthy with no signs of, I wrote composition. That should be decomposition.
That's your notebook.
They're just writing all the time.
They're just composing.
They're undead for sure. If they're
composing and composing.
If there were any type of poltergeist-like activities happening around the corpse, like moving things or throwing objects. If they appear to be harmed by garlic, mustard seeds, crucifixes, or holy water.
Makes sense.
So
I've
that
never
really
heard the
does
mustard
actually
seed
have like a basis.
in legend. Yep.
They couldn't walk on consecrated ground. So think of like someplace where there was a church or a temple or wherever. They couldn't walk on that. And they also couldn't cross running water. Which I find interesting. So it's like, here's get on the other side of the stream, everybody. You can't get us there. Things that some of the people did to protect themselves was they placed mirrors facing outwards on their door because apparently they believed that vampires couldn't see their reflection because they have no soul. Which I've always seen on like movies and stuff. They can't see their reflection, but I didn't know it was because they lacked a soul.
Are you touching something?
No, why? What do you mean touching something? I don't understand your question.
I know, I just keep hearing something weird.
I mean, I've been kind of twirling in my chair.
No, I just keep hearing like a crunching. Okay, sorry.
Okay, I don't know.
Oh, God.
The undead is coming for us.
The mirror thing, though, that's so, yeah. But
and also,
outward on their door, like, what does that do, I wonder? You know what I mean?
I don't know. Unless it gives them more of a heads up. Like,
they know.
Yeah.
They're on to me. Got it.
And they can't enter a house without an invitation.
We know that from Buffy.
And they're vulnerable to sunlight. So those were just, so you kind of see a lot of the literature and things that are out there are actually steeped in these were people's beliefs.
Absolutely.
These are really what they believed.
Absolutely.
So Anne Rice didn't come up with quite as much stuff as she gets credit for.
Or the author of Twilight.
Okay, now that I put my next section, I put killing vampires, but then as I started taking my notes, I realized it was more about destroying them, not killing them. It was more of like how to destroy the corpses.
Because they're technically dead.
Something that you thought would either have the potential of becoming the undead.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And I don't really know why later on you'll see why they think they are going to be the undead.
Got it.
Which, whatever. But so staking was the most common method. And it depended on where part of the world you lived in with what kind of wood they preferred. But I'm assuming that's probably just what was the most abundant in their area.
Yeah. Wood.
Decapitation was the preferred method in Germany. And they would bury the head, though. They wouldn't just decapitate. They would either bury the head completely away from the body, between the feet, or behind the buttocks. I'm like,
oh my God,
how insulting.
On your...
Do not stick my head
and how
up my butt. Like, just bury my head elsewhere, please.
Or just by my feet. Like, that's fine.
Just come on.
Oh my God, under the butt.
They were poor.
That's like Demi Moore farting on her
for sure. That was the last episode,
it
though.
Was. Dang it.
You got to listen to all of us to get our jokes, guys. It is. They would pour boiling water on the grave.
What's it boiling? I feel like I've seen that actually on Buffy. Okay, everything has a Buffy reference to me.
The Romanians drove steel needles into the heart.
Oh.
And then they would place like steel stuff on just various parts of the body. I never did figure out why exactly, but to them that was somehow keeping it at bay.
I've never heard the steel thing before.
Yeah. Sometimes they just burn the body, which to me seems like a for sure guarantee.
Yes.
And then there are a lot of other real weird rituals just all over the world that I'm not going to get into. So now I'm going to talk about some cases of actual vampires.
Okay.
So we're going to start with Peter Pluggage.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. He's Serbian. I can't say his name. But then I found it somewhere else and they called him, like, I think it was Peter, but then it was like Blagojevich or something. like the shamed governor of Illinois. So he was a See, not all vampires are sexy. Told ya. Because he's gross.
Governor of Illinois.
Wasn't that his name? Blagojevich, I think.
Yeah, it's just so funny that you said that.
And so he was some Serbian guy who died in his village in 1725, and other villagers suspected he was a vampire. No one really said why they suspected that. So a few weeks after he died, his body was exhumed. So I love how they can just be like, we think he's a vampire. Go dig up his body. And they staked him through the heart. But, oh no, this is why they thought he was a vampire. My notes are all over the place. He was the first person in his village to die of some sort of a disease. Not sure what that disease was. But then other villagers started dying, probably from whatever that disease was.
Typhoid.
But rather than saying, oh my God, there's like a contagious disease spreading,
they assumed
it's Peter coming out at night as a vampire and killing people.
That was always their explanation of things.
So they were just like, I even wrote on here, they just reasoned he was rolling through town at night, Tom Cruising them. Just
what?
Interview with a vampire. You know, like, because he was the mean vampire in that scenario.
He's scary in that
Lestat.
movie. He's scary in that movie.
Yes. He was no Louis. Louis was the nice one. They did an autopsy after his body was exhumed. And then this stuff I was reading, I don't remember where I was from the SmithsonianMag.com. So it's legit. So they had an actual quote from his autopsy after they had exhumed his body. So they didn't just exhume it. They, I don't know, inspected it. They said that there was no odor, even though he had been buried for weeks.
Weird.
His body appeared fresh. His hair and beard had continued to grow. But I feel like I've read other places, even after you die, that's just a thing.
Really?
Like your hair and stuff don't grow.
Was he really dead?
That's kind of why I'm worried. Because I'm like, yeah, your hair your follicles might continue growing. But it takes months for you to have noticeable length.
On a beard,
so I don't know
guess,
about his hair or
so
beard.
Much.
And his old skin seemingly had peeled away, revealing fresh skin. I'm like, well, can you bottle that up, please?
I know. I would love that on my face.
Over my face.
What?
And there was fresh blood on his mouth. So, kind of makes me feel like maybe he was buried alive, but don't know. Then we have Arnold Paley. I don't know how to say this.
Paley.
He is an hors d'oeuvre and a vampire. No, that's aioli, not Paley.
It's a sauce, not an hors d'oeuvre.
I was thinking you dip, though, your hors d'oeuvres in an aioli. I don't know.
Yes, you do.
Stop it.
You got this. This is Paoli.
2 in 1 day. It's too much for me.
We're going to put pale.
So this guy, Arnold. Think early 18th century. He's another Serbian fella.
Okay.
He falls off a hay wagon and breaks his neck.
Oh. And dies.
And then other people start. Yeah, he dies. He breaks his neck and dies. Well, then other people in the village start dying. So everyone's like, what? Arnold was a vampire. He's coming around and killing him.
This is just like the freaking witch trials.
It really is.
Yeah.
His body, as well as his victims, air quotes, were exhumed then. Because they're like, well, he died. Now these other people died. So he's coming back at night and killing them. So we're not just going to exhume his body. We're going to exhume all the people that died after him because he's the reason they died. They didn't necessarily find anything, but word traveled as it did, I don't know, in the 18th century by carrier
telegram.
Pigeons. I don't know.
Smoke fires. What's that called? Smoke signals?
Yes. It traveled through smoke signals to Western Europe and then eventually
Western Union.
Via telegram and then made its way to the New World.
We're just making jokes from our old
America.
episode.
We are.
God, we're so dumb. Yes, a whole new world. Why am I singing song from Disney?
So picture it.
Okay, I'm picturing. My eyes are closed.
Oh wait, this is like a story.
Do I picture?
From the Story Universe. Yes, picture it.
Okay,
I wrote picture it.
Okay, perfect.
So, because there were more stories about other people, and I'm like, nope, this one's amazing.
I'm
going with this. This is good. This is the grand finale.
Oh yeah, we're good on time.
Okay.
50 minutes.
So, it's 1875.
Okay.
You're in a secluded, beautiful area of Cumberland in northwest England.
I know nothing about that. So
I don't know. I just imagine like every
rolling hills
Bronte novel that's ever been turned into
every
a
what?
movie. Bronte, like
Charlotte,
Emily, you know the Brontes,
naughty
or not every naughty novel.
I'm like, what kind of naughty novel?
Imagine Christian Grey is.
Imagine
in England.
A book that Jennifer Black reads. God, we love you, Jen.
Love you, Jen. Sorry for just calling you out.
Hey, she did on social media. She's
Truth.
Love you, Jen.
So you got Edward, Michael, and Amelia Cronswell. They're these three siblings.
This is sexy. Oh.
No, they're siblings. It is not sexy. Stop. No. This is not incest. They're just...
Next week's topic, vampire incest. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
So they rent this farmhouse for a vacation. They're on vacation.
What year is this?
1875. I feel like people in the 1800s were either like obscenely wealthy or dirt poor.
I know, like they went on vacation. There was no in between. I'm so confused.
Yeah. And they rent this farmhouse.
Okay.
But they loved it so much, they're like, well, we're just staying forever.
So they became squatters and got rights.
Well, no, I think they kept paying for the house.
Oh, okay.
So they fell in love with it. They stayed. They even got to become very well known amongst the like locals.
Okay.
So
like that mermaid.
Yes, like the mermaid. Can you imagine just like we're vacationing here? Well, we're just going to extend our vacation indefinitely. Like
that's where
where do you get your money?
That's where we're going to be, Amy.
So a year goes by. I would love us to be there as well.
Okay.
But then I'd be bored and have to go work at like Starbucks.
That'd be fine.
So Amelia should have went to Starbucks because a year goes by. It's summertime. There's a heat wave.
Oh,
it's the 18th. No, she wasn't bored. That was me. I'm saying I would be bored if I went on vacation indefinitely.
Okay.
So there's a heat wave. It's the 1800s.
There's
no air conditioning. So she can't sleep because it's so freaking hot. She's just like, oh my God.
My blankets can't even touch me.
When I get the night sweats. It's so awful. So
40s,
she's just
am I right?
Yes. So she sits up in bed.
Okay.
Like, oh, I'm so hot. And just like turns her head and glances out the window.
Oh my God, what are you about to say?
And she sees these like two kind of what appears to be like flickering lights off in the distance. But they're getting closer to her window. At her window, it said her window was shut, but I'm like, but if you're so hot, why is the window not open?
Maybe she's into safety.
Maybe. In the 1800s.
She's like, no.
There is no ADT.
There is no police.
Or Ring doorbell.
Maybe there were police.
Yeah, they were constables.
Mounties.
Yes. So she sees these, and they're getting closer to her window.
That's disturbing.
So then she's just completely mortified when they're right at her window. Okay, so she kind of
Why is she mortified?
Because she's like these two things came, and it's just like, what am I looking at? So she looks down, and there's a hideous brown face with flaming eyes. So those two lights she saw was this creature's eyes coming towards her, and it starts scratching at her locked window.
Ew, is she calling? What's her brother's name?
Well, she's paralyzed with fear. So she can't move. She can't scream.
How long did it take it to get to her window, though? So it's like 25 minutes.
Well, she didn't know what it was. It was just like a light. She didn't know they were the eyes of something.
Of a demon.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm with you.
Okay.
I'm going to stop judging Amelia.
Okay. Yes, please do. Because poor Amelia.
Oh, God. It
has a rough time.
Okay.
So she's paralyzed with fear. It's scratching and it starts knocking on one of the panes of glass. and it's trying to get in, but her window's locked. Thank God.
Bust that,
but it's able to push out one pane because you think
that's the worst.
It's not like a big solid pane of glass. It's like all these little panes. Yes. So it knocks out that one pane, reaches in, and unlocks the window. So she's just like sitting here, drenched in her own sweat. Watching it, just paralyzed with fear, though, it said.
But that's pretty smart. It's like intelligent for it to do that.
Yes. So then she watches helplessly as it just crawls through the window.
You gotta get up, Amelia.
Comes across the room, grabs her by the hair, and jerks her head back and sinks its teeth into her neck. So then when this happens, the pain of that basically snaps her out of this like
trance,
fear paralysis
or
thing
trance,
she's in.
maybe?
Yeah. And she screams and her brothers come bursting into the room.
She has two?
Yes.
Oh, I missed that.
There were three of them. Their names were, what did I say?
That.
Edward, Michael, and Amelia.
So
Maybe you thought his name was Edward Michael.
I did.
Which is why you thought they were star-crossed lovers renting a farmhouse.
I'm so dumb. Okay, her brothers come in.
They come in, and they see the creature crawling back through the window.
Ew.
So one of the brothers chased after it. But I guess, like, where this house is, it overlooks, like, this field, and there's, like, an old cemetery and an old church. And the brother said it was able to jump and leap over one of the walls of the church and then disappear. So
La Chupacabra.
So Amelia had a pretty gnarly neck wound, but she survived.
Oh my God.
Yes.
And there's like no hospital.
Well, she said there well, no, I'm not talking about that kind of hospital.
She said
yeah, she needed a hospital, but I guess apparently there was some sort of like an asylum somewhere in the area. So
a doctor
even though she knew what she saw, she just was like, it was one of the psychopaths from the asylum escaped, got in here and attacked me. At this point, they're not thinking it's something.
Does she want to move away now?
Well, in an effort to help her kind of recover from everything and mend, her and her brothers take a trip to Switzerland.
What?
Like, what a life.
No, pack up and leave. You are done there.
So then,
okay,
the following fall, they return to the home to stay some more.
There's no way.
So the brothers, though, do like, okay, this may have been just a once-in-a-lifetime thing, but we're going to start sleeping in the room directly across from Amelia's, and we're going to sleep with guns.
And we're going to get new windows.
So that's their plan. Yeah.
Hopefully.
Maybe. I don't know.
Surely. Oh, God, does it come back?
So.
Oh, my God, it comes back.
Well, they're there. Everything is quiet and normal. So they came back, when did I say? In the fall. So you got fall, winter.
Thank you.
Spring. That's how the seasons work, in case you didn't know. So the following spring, Amelia wakes to that scratching sound again.
Oh, my God.
And so she kind of like peeks. Like, why don't my brothers have loaded guns? I don't want to
get something shot that's not a ghost.
And sure enough, it's that creature. It's back.
Ew.
So this time she's not. She's like, okay, I'm taking charge of my destiny. And she screams.
You are not going to bite my neck again.
So her brothers burst in and they shoot it in the leg, whatever it is. And it takes off running. So they chase it to that cemetery where it retreats into some sort of a crypt. Because they're, it's a cemetery. They're a crypt.
What?
Makes sense. So, and they were like, it's the middle of the night. And we're not sure what that thing is we shot that just scurried off into that crypt. We could go in there after it, but nope. We'll come back and when it's daylight.
Yeah, absolutely.
So then they go around the little village there and start asking if anyone wants to join their like little crusade.
Who wants to light
go track
a torch
this thing down
and get your pitchfork?
And as they're asking the locals to join them in this, they learn that other people in the village have seen this creature.
Oh my God.
This is not the first sighting of it. And there have been cattle and sheep who have died from having all of their blood drained. No one knows how. And there is a girl in the village who had like these just neck wounds appear. But she couldn't tell anyone
like while she
where
was
they came from.
sleeping, maybe?
And if you think like Amelia, she said she was paralyzed in fear, but then like you said, was it some sort of a like mind altering kind of trance?
Like that's a thing.
Yeah, and I even think of the movie. What's the one with Dracula? With Keanu Reeves and Winona Ryder. I love that movie. But, like, the thing comes in Lucy's room and it's invisible, but, like, the wounds come in her neck and whatever.
Yeah, who knows?
Okay. Which is fictional. And this is real. This is, like, a documented thing that happened.
Yeah.
So that happened to that girl.
Well, and it makes... So the other thing that comes to mind when you're saying all that is the chupacabra. Because it, like, sucks blood as well. But I don't feel like that is something that would, like, push a bit of pain and then reach in and unlock the door.
It isn't
or the window.
that intelligent.
No. It's still an animal.
That's so a few brave souls said, we'll go with you, brothers, to the cemetery.
Edward and
Brothers
Richard.
Grimm.
That's really nice of them, though, to want to go with them.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty weird. But I guess if they're like thinking, well, whatever this is
could
doing things in our village too, but we've had no way of knowing where. And now they're telling us they've seen where it's gone to, so we're going to follow them.
Yeah, heck yeah.
So they go with the brothers. They enter the tomb and find inside the tomb that all of the graves have been defiled and the coffins have all been torn open with the remains of the corpses just scattered all over the place inside the crypt, except one. There's one coffin that hasn't been touched. So they go up to it and they open it. And inside was the creature with a bullet wound in its leg. But it itself was in some sort of a trance or like a vegetative state to where it just it didn't react. But it was clearly the thing that they had shot because it had the bullet wound still in its leg. So they just burned the body right then and there. They're like, okay, this is it. Set it on fire. We don't care about
but don't do that.
Science
like, kill it and then, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, they were just
scared.
Yeah, I mean, this thing has
as you would
attacked, their sister and a girl in the village and been killing animals. So they don't,
don't do that. We need to be able to see it.
So then after they did that, all the sightings and incidents at their home and in the village stopped.
Wow.
So then I wrote there was some 1800s author guy, I don't know what his name was, who swears that this is a true story. Like he visited the area, he spoke to people in the area that had firsthand
That's awesome.
Accounts of this. So then in the 1930s, there was some other guy, author guy, I think, I don't know anybody's names, who had heard the legend of this and wanted to check it out himself. So he went to the location where like the cemetery and the church and the house were. Mm-hmm. But the cemetery and the church had been demolished. But there were still like the bones of the house were still standing, like the foundations of.
Yeah.
And there was one window that was covered up. Like that would have been
Ew.
Amelia's window they went through, so you could tell like someone had boarded that up like for precautionary reasons, not for like people board up old homes, but it was there was only one window in the entire house that was. And so anyways, a bunch of other people say it's a true story too. So
it's true.
So it's obviously true. That was a pretty quick episode, but that's okay.
Yeah, it's still an hour.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Amy.
Sometimes you need us in small doses.
That's crazy though.
That was my story. And then there were some other stories of like this girl named Nellie. But it turned out it was more of just like some kids started some story to scare each other. Oh. And this poor girl had already been dead for like 70 years or something before they started saying
Nellie
But then people kept like going to her grave and doing stupid stuff because they said she was a vampire. So it's like, no, don't do that. Stop.
Yeah, don't desecrate people's graves.
And there were a bunch of other things out there too, but like I said, this was the second story, and I did both these in one night, like a procrastinating fool. I had nothing going on all week. I've been on Christmas break. There was no reason for me to put that off, but whatever. I did, so.
No, it's a lot. We get it. Well, wow. Great episode. good information. We talked about some weird things.
Yeah, we did.
Now
we're going to go eat some greasy food so we can spontaneously combust.
Oh my God.
So this may be the last episode.
So if it is, we love you.
If it is,
thank you.
Please come put flowers and stuff by our pictures and light candles and put our merchandise on there.
What picture?
I don't know. The one of us in the movie theater that's horrible. Don't put that one. Put the beautiful one that's our cover photo, please. At our memorial.
Oh, yes, please. Do you hear that, Kyle and James Christopher?
Yeah, these are our wishes.
I like how I always have to refer to him as James Christopher.
I know. Ever since I let you know his middle name, we just
went with that picture of him,
JC.
You know the one.
Oh, yes. Where he looks like a Victorian era cherub.
Okay, so like us on social media.
Yes, please rate, review, subscribe.
Please.
We've been getting some reviews from people, and we just enjoy them so much. It really means so much to us, and it doesn't just write a sentence.
Yeah,
we love it.
It seriously, it makes my life every time I read one. I'm just like,
Yeah. And I get it. I never review anything either. Amazon's probably going to you're kicked out of the club. You never review any of the stuff we need you to review. So I get it, but please do. It means a lot. For us, it does, because there are some weeks where we're just like, do people just hate us? Or are we just doing this for ourselves? And we need you to stroke our egos. So.
And it helps us boost our podcast. So.
It really does. Our likes on social media have been by the time this comes out, I don't know, we might be a stalemate again, but just lately, even if we're not your thing, you have some friends who are like us, friend. Tag them in it.
Yes. And share it. That's the power of social media. So we'd love to get more followers and be able to just spend more time doing this. So we obviously have full-time jobs, and we don't anticipate ever not having full-time jobs.
Right. Because we aren't Amelia and Edward and Michael.
We aren't. But we will go to the Swiss Alps soon.
We will.
Switzerland.
I thought it was Scotland.
No.
That was in
your story.
England. No, they went to Switzerland for her to recuperate.
That's what I mean.
Okay, wrap it up.
Okay,
everybody.
We love you. Goodbye.
Bye.